Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical drama. I'm joined by one of the stars of the moment, which is the actor Eric Brody, who is coming to us from his car because he's actually going to be on set later filming, guess what? Another vertical, because it does not stop when you're working in verticals. Eric, can you give a little introduction of yourself to the internet, bit about where you're from and where you grew up?
Yeah, for sure. So, born and raised in Florida, United States, been playing sports all my life. Um, Started out throughout school modeling, did a little bit of commercial acting, some of my shorter films and stuff like that. And then obviously I got the feeling deep down inside where this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Headed out to LA, right before COVID actually, and spent a lot of time out here. Now I've been kind of going back and forth a little bit, and then starting in 2023, dove full into the vertical world. Before that was TV and film. So it was a bit of an adjustment to dive into vertical roles. And since then, it's been absolutely nonstop. I've had the pleasure to travel around the world, meet really cool people. And yeah, it's been fantastic.
So sports, what were your sports growing up? What were the ones and
Yeah,
sort
so
of what level were
primarily
you playing at?
was soccer. So as football as most of the world calls it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played soccer literally my entire life. I wanted to be a professional soccer player, up until the point where I started acting, and then that obviously took over everything. But I mean, I grew up in a super athletic family, so playing all sorts of sports, football, basketball, anything you could think of. I box a little bit now, a little bit of fighting stuff now, but yeah, all sports.
I'm going to ask the soccer questions now. Okay, so what was your position?
Center mid, so center defensive mid.
Ooh,
Yep,
crucial. Kind of
yep,
control the game. I love it.
yep.
Um, Team of choice?
Manchester City,
Oh, interesting.
Man City. How about yourself?
Well, Liverpool, so we'll move on.
Liverpool. Okay, yeah. Next question.
I'd say that was fine. Interesting. Move on.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, are you planning to go see any games next year? Because obviously the World Cup's in the USA.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to. We put our names into the ticket pool, so hopefully we get tickets. Fingers crossed for sure. We're in a bunch of the pools. My brother's a professional soccer player as well, so I mean, whatever team he's on at the moment is usually the team that I support most. I'm a little bit biased, but I mean, if we can be in the World Cup, that'd be sweet.
Awesome. So, acting. What is it about acting that got your heart and gave the bug? And like, I can't put this down. What does it give you that you love so much?
Yeah, so honestly, it gives me just a complete deeper understanding of myself and kind of the way I view life through the characters that I play. I feel a lot of empathy towards all sorts of characters that I play. It took a lot to, fully step out of myself and dive into the life of someone else. I feel like it made me a better person because of that, and I owe everything to the characters. And I feel like they're like the greatest teachers for me in life. Um, and yeah,
I
it's
love
been
that.
yeah, ever since then it's
They
just
they
been
give you something, then is what you're saying.
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, the characters teach me completely everything about life. I feel like.
Oh. So, obviously you go on the IMDb because that's what you do when you're researching. And we talked about it well. So one of your first big roles is in Lick, which was a Passionflix film. So if people don't know, Passionflix is run by Tosca Musk and was kind of really the pioneer of romantic movies for women, and often takes from books as well. So they will go and look at really popular romance books, and a lot of people wanted them to do the book Lick, and obviously you were in it. How did your involvement in that come around? And also, how cool is it just basically being in a band? Surely
Oh
that's
my
like
God, it was
awesome. I'm in a band.
yeah, by far one of my favorite roles I was able to dive in. I mean, Passionflix is absolutely amazing. What Tosca's doing over there is super cool. The fan base is really cool. I mean, the cool thing about Passionflix also, they let a lot of the passionistas, what they call them, like the most passionate fans,
Mm.
come to sets and be extras and stuff in sets. So actually, as we were performing some of the songs in Lick, um, a lot of like the Passionflix fans were actually extras in the crowd. So that was actually a really cool moment. We were able to feed off the energy of them. They were giving us energy, so that was cool. But yeah, I mean, diving in that role was honestly something that was super special. I mean, the stage dive series by Kylie Scott is, um, it's a great series. I mean, each of us have our own individual love story. Obviously, we have our troubles for sure, especially Jimmy, the character that I played. But the beautiful thing is that music is the thing that ties us all together. And being able to step on stage, and I don't come from any singing background or anything, but being able to step on stage with a lot of um, just like energy. As soon as we got out there, we were just like, "Whoa, we're about to be doing this." Right after the song completed, we all looked at each other and we were just like, "Holy shit!" Like that was insane. Just like the feeling that we felt after that song was absolutely incredible. It was electric. So yeah, what a time.
So I guess that's cool because you get an insight into like what it is like being a band and playing live and why people get addicted to that of just the
Oh
feeling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The adrenaline was no joke.
I have to ask, any news or whispers of potentially Jimmy's story being told?
Yeah, so I can't say anything yet. Yeah, fingers are definitely staying crossed. I know a lot of people are pushing for these stories. I'm obviously biased, but I would absolutely love to dive back in Jimmy's shoes. Create Lead is the name
Mm,
of his book.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if we Passionflix gets behind it, I mean, I don't see why we shouldn't.
I have to ask actually, as an actor, when you've got you know that there's a whole book about your character. Do you go and have a look, even though you're not actually filming that one? And go, I just want to know where this is going, or have you left?
Yeah,
You went and looked.
no, yeah, 100%. You know, I didn't want to dive in it. Too much right before we were filming Lick, only because I
Mm,
wanted to kind of stay in the moment of like that one story and
mm,
not have a bunch of other thoughts inside my head.
mm.
But I mean, definitely, I'm a very curious person, so definitely post filming, I definitely dove in those books, and it definitely hit me at the spark, being like, yeah, I want to live this out with everything that I have.
Okay, right. So let's all manifest that. And passion flicks are great. They do tend to make more in the series, so I think you'll
100%.
be
Let's
great.
hope so.
Um, am I right? Is your first vertical then? Was it pregnant by my MVPX? Is that correct?
It
Or had you done
was,
ones before?
yes, it was.
Okay. And am I right in thinking that's quite unusual because you actually that wasn't filmed in the USA, was it?
No, first one was actually in Lithuania.
So how does that go about? Because that's a bit different, isn't it? Of like, we wanted to do a vertical and it's in Lithuania. What was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
conversation
Yeah,
like?
so I mean, I was getting my team, my agent out here was getting some messages about verticals early in 2023, and this was still early for us.
Hmm.
And coming from like feature films and TV and stuff, we were like verticals, couldn't really wrap our head around it. We let a few pass, and the first one came up. Lithuania came up in the emails, and we was like, "Yeah, how cool would it be to dive into Lithuania?" It's also a cool story, like a sports story, which coming from a sports
Mm.
background, I was intrigued in that alone. So yeah, I flew out there. Instantly got there, filmed in a very small Lithuanian village the first couple of days, and then flew and then drove to the capital. But it was absolutely amazing. It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Architecture was insane. Um, the production over there was fantastic. And then ever since then, I guess you can say that I've dove fully into verticals. I mean, it was a fantastic first experience.
So basically, they did a really good job because they completely converted you of like, this is a thing
100%.
you have to do.
100%. Did something.
And you got to do a bit of basketball as well.
Yes, yes, cannot complain about that. You know, it was a funny thing because the opposing team and even some of my teammates were professional Lithuanian basketball players.
Mm.
So I mean, yeah, these were some big men, and you know, being I mean, luckily I played a little bit of basketball and stuff growing up, but yeah, I mean, it was just a very immersive experience, and yeah, I cannot complain about a thing. It was awesome.
Mm. Having come from film and TV, what was the biggest adjustment you find you have to make as an actor when you move into a vertical set? What's the
Um,
biggest thing you have to maybe change your mindset or style for?
yeah, I think I mean a lot of it right away was obviously like technique wise. I mean, obviously you're playing with such a short frame, so everything is immediately drawn to the face, left full body movements. So
Mm,
that took a little bit of adjusting, especially on like I mean, you look at lick for example, when you're on stage, you're immersed into a song, you have a lot of room to play with. And obviously verticals, I mean, you sort of hit your mark and if you move like a foot to your right, you're instantly out of the frame. So like I think technique wise was just the biggest adjustment to kind of encapsulate everything
mm,
rather than like full body sort of movements.
mhm. And can you explain for people like is how much difference is there just in size of team on the set?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, when you're looking at when you're looking at a vertical set, I'd probably say there's about like 15, maybe under 20 sort of people moving around in between scenes and stuff like that. And then looking at the feature, I mean, there can be 50 plus sort of people.
Yeah.
And obviously verticals, they move extremely fast. I mean, sometimes you're shooting 20 pages a day. I mean, these things are an hour and a half movie and they're shot in 8 days. So, I mean, you're
Mm,
absolutely flying. So, just like the proficiency that these crews are they're able to do is also very impressive.
awesome. And presumably, because obviously you're still here, you thrive on that. Because I get the impression that if you like it, it's like there's a real adrenaline of just the speed of working is really fun.
100%. I mean, it's just like that much more of an immersive experience. Also, because like, at least for me, someone that likes to sort of stay in like the psyche of the character a bit longer, and you really don't have any time to kind of get out of it. Um, as soon as you finish one scene, director yells cut. You're instantly sprinting to wardrobe, get changed, prepping for the next one, and then instantly go to the next one. So I mean, you gotta know the script like the back of your hand. You gotta know everything about it. And I mean, it just feels very immersive as a character because you're instantly going from one scene to the next without any break in between.
So you've played a range of roles. So, for instance, Cinderella's Royal Secret, where you're William. I know you're near at the end, but the end of the Housewife, where you're Julian. I would say they would be the sort of the traditional swoon-worthy male lead. Kind of what do you get from those characters? Kind of what's your approach to playing that kind of character?
Yeah, listen, it's always cool to play the hero. Everyone wants to be the hero. I mean, for me, even playing like heroes and villains and stuff like that, I try not to even think about the whole hero and villain thing.
Mm,
I don't even like to call people heroes or villains. I just like to call
mm,
them people.
mm,
They're just human beings that are going through different. I mean, everyone essentially thinks that they're like the hero of their life,
mm,
but I think diving into roles like that, obviously you have like a different control element where most of the time in the story things are going to go your way because you're the
mm.
guy. You sort of pull the strings a little bit, so having that power is also pretty cool.
And then, so, I mean, basically, I then want to talk about conversely. So, obviously, the one that's most recently come out is After I Died, He Went Mad, which, I mean, you told me the message, it's intense.
Yes.
And I was watching the first episode. And I mean, more happens in that first episode of this vertical than I guess happens in a lot of feature films or like 10-part TV series. And it's like, we've already got that in the first episode of this incredibly intense setup. Because I think it's fine to say, obviously, your character is getting married to Kirby Elwood's character, but on the wedding day, they've just got married, but dad's drunk drives managed to kill your parents.
Yeah.
That's the end of a very nice marriage, shall we say.
Yeah.
Your character's not okay about that. Um, but it's so intense. Like, that must be really unusual. And is that also one of the appeals of verticals that, like, you've already got that crazy setup and that's just happened in like 90 seconds?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, like you said, I mean, there was 90 seconds and maybe a little bit of smiles, obviously on your wedding day, a lot of excitement, and then instantly, right away, just imagine the bride's drunk parents run your parents over on your
Mm.
wedding day, and instantly kill them. So, I mean, obviously, putting yourself into that character's shoes, obviously, it's going to be you're in complete shock, just
Mm.
distraught. You literally, as it says, like he went mad. You go absolutely insane. So I mean, living that out was obviously a very intense experience.
Mm.
Um, looking back, but I mean, yeah, right away. I mean, that happens, and you look at, like you said, feature films, and that's sort of like the middle of the story, and then everything
Mm.
changes after that. But the whole vertical world, I mean, it's right away. It's intense the whole way through.
What were your feelings about Sebastian? Do you think there was anyone who could have helped him? Or is it just that grief is so instantaneous and it goes so quickly to the sort of the anger and the intense lashing out? I almost like want a psychologist there of like, was there a way Sebastian could have been helped? Or,
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a better question for a psychologist.
yeah.
um, I think he definitely needs like some like psychiatric help,
Mm,
100%. Probably to be institutionalized, or I mean, talk to a professional for sure. I think that I was also like just like so deep into like the thoughts and feelings of my own mind where like I also wouldn't allow anyone to help me at that moment. So it's a tough
Mm,
question because I'm not too sure if I would even allow help in my life. And I think that's
mm,
a big point of it. I think that just going through like the stages of grief and stuff like that, that completely took over um all of my thoughts. I mean, there was like I mean there's always light at the end of the tunnel, but I mean, for the most part it was very, very dark the whole way through. And I think that's just like stepping in his shoes, that's what I was feeling, especially with my parents sort of being run over. And I mean, I just got overtaken by a lot of darkness.
mm. How do you manage that? Is that something that you find you can compartmentalize and sort of switch off when the scene ends, or is it something you do need a little bit of time to process through? Because obviously you're going to a really intense, heavy place.
Yeah, yeah, very, very much. I mean, it definitely took a lot of preparation and stuff going um, before before that story. So I think everything like relied in the preparation. Obviously, knowing this story
Mm,
like the back of my hand, but also you know, just like getting my mind, getting my body, getting my feelings towards everything that Sebastian was feeling
mm,
in his psyche. So I mean, I was doing a lot of like, you know, like journaling, thinking character thoughts,
mm,
stuff like that to sort of like fully hop out of my body in order to dive into Sebastian. It wasn't like it was like a snap of the fingers being like director yells action and then oh I instantly feel everything. I was
mm.
feeling everything the entire time. Um I mean I was constantly listening to some just like a lot of like sad music for like the same song, probably like 10 hours a day. So
Okay,
I mean,
what's the music of choice? What was the
y-
artist that got you in the zone?
yeah. So haven't said this to anyone yet. So a little exclusive, but the song was "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Slow,
like
but
that.
obvious.
Yeah, Johnny Cash
Yeah,
for the pain. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Just hits hard, and then there was some like a little bit more upbeat music. But yeah, it
mm,
was like two or three songs I was listening to the entire time. But yeah, I mean, I just got everything relied in the preparation. A lot of journaling what my character is kind of like feeling at the moment. And that just allowed me to sort of obviously be in it the entire time because obviously verticals they film so fast, so there's no moment in time, especially for a character that intense,
mm.
to sort of snap out of it even for a single moment.
Yeah. And how is it working with Kirby Elwood? Because obviously she's incredibly experienced, and I know is
Yeah,
yeah. How
yeah.
how how do you sort of play that dynamic between you?
Yeah, listen, that was my first time working with her, and I mean, very intense story for the first time, but she was fantastic. I mean, I've only good things to say about her. I mean, instantly we clicked right away. Super super cool person, even off the camera, and I think we're able to kind of chat a little bit before we even started filming, which
Mm,
always helps a lot, like chemistry wise and stuff like that. Um, but I mean, it was obviously a very intense story to work with someone for the first time. But
mm,
I think that shows a testament to obviously how we clicked and the prep that we gave our characters before filming.
mm. And I guess it's kind of a more general question, but when you what would your hope be that sort of someone takes from each of your projects or verticals? You know,
Like from the characters or from the stories.
yeah, I'd just be interested, kind of what you'd love people to take from them, kind of what your hope is as an actor.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, each vertical I've done, each character I've played, I've gotten a wide variety of messages actually.
Mm,
And I think that it's 100% like depends on the story. Like you're saying, like the classical rom com, like the good escapism. I mean,
mm,
just feeling something after the story is most important to me. And I
mm,
mean that after I died, he went mad. You know, there were some people that were texting me saying that they were sitting in tears, and then brought them back to certain darker spots in their life, like
mm,
relating a little bit
mm,
to the story. Obviously, not maybe not the exact way Sebastian was, but obviously, like we're all human beings. We all go through horrible things in life.
mm,
I think it's about how you kind of persevere through them. And I think that obviously a lot of people watch these verticals for escapism and stuff like that. But I think that for these stories, obviously, to grow, for the space to get bigger, I think that um, you know,
mm,
art imitates life, and I think that horrible things happen to everyone. So I mean, I think that just people getting from my characters, just like feeling something, whether it's relating to them, whether it's obviously like loving them,
mm.
escapism, kind of like laughing with them. I think just like feeling something with them is most important for me as an actor.
That was awesome. I just want to ask you more generally, because obviously we're coming to what the end of, we were recording this, it's December 2025. And this year, I mean, you will have seen it from when you first Vertical came out at the beginning of the year, kind of they're around. So like now at the end of the year, it's like there's something in the news every day about verticals. They're going to save Hollywood. Every major streamer wants to get involved. Studios are involved. Um, what is your own theory about why verticals are so popular? You know, is that something that you think about, or you're like, do you know what, I'm so busy on set, I'm not doing bigger analysis?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily like dive into the analysis side too
Yeah.
much of things, but um, I mean, I will say like they're very action packed. They keep you on your toes, and I
Mm,
think yeah, some other stories people kind of know what's going to happen next, but it is a beautiful form um of escapism. And I think a lot of movies do that for us as well. But obviously, all of us all of us have a phone. Obviously, they're um very easy to access and stuff like that, but verticals have done a very good job at keeping all the elements in the story that you sort of want to see. There's no really extra fluff that doesn't need to be in there.
mm,
Everything, like every episode, obviously leaves you on your toes, being like, all right, I want to figure out what happens next. And even if you know it, the story still hooks you, hopefully.
mm,
And then you'll just continue watching. So, I mean, I only think they're going to get bigger, and I'm here
mm.
for them.
And have you noticed that just with conversations with sort of other people in the industry, that people are more and more interested of like Eric explain? I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
You notice it's raising your profile, I guess,
Yeah. No, I mean,
more of an
100%. I
accepted
mean,
part of your CV. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I also think give that a huge testament to the fans and obviously like the people that are watching and supporting us in these verticals. I mean,
Mm,
all the fans, like, just extremely passionate people, extremely loving people, and it's a fun time engaging with them. And I think that also boosts the stories. It boosts us as creatives, and I think that it's a really cool community, fans, actors. Producers, crews. Like it's a
mm.
very cool vertical community, and I think we are very close knit. And I think that just shows how strong the space really is.
Are we at that stage yet of, are you getting recognized in public?
There has been a few times actually. Yeah, there has been a few times, even on set with some of like the extras and the background players. Um, some of them will come up to you and say, "Yeah, I just watched you in this one." And it is funny. I mean, I've done a few of these in China.
Mm,
I mean, they film insane amount in
mm.
China. So it happened a few times over there where some people obviously hold up their phone next to you and stuff like that. But yeah, and it's all been awesome, very cool experiences.
Awesome. So, you're about to go to set today. So could you talk us through what your day on set will look like, just to give people an idea of life on a vertical set, of what you'll be doing?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So I
Mm.
think today we got another 20 pages to shoot.
Just 20.
Um,
Just 20.
Yeah, just 20 pages. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
25 different scenes. Um, so yeah, obviously, head to set, obviously, as soon as I hop off, sort of like get my mind together,
Mm,
figure out the character. But it's usually the preparation you do before the vertical is literally everything. I mean, I think if you spend the time kind of preparing, um, while you're working on the vertical, that can be a bit tricky.
mm,
It's always day one as well, where you're just like, okay, I want to be able to fully kind of be in my character.
mm,
I wouldn't say like it's necessarily like nerves that are there, but it's sort of the feeling just to make sure that you're just like getting your character as quick as possible. And then
mm,
for me, once I feel that, then it's very easy to kind of like live that throughout the entire
mm,
story. So today, yeah, be good to go. Obviously, you might start on the 77th scene of the story, and then you instantly might get changed and jump to the second scene of the story.
mm.
So I mean, just like the wide amount of emotions that you're feeling on a daily basis is,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Do you tend to find you get to stop for lunch, or is it walking lunch? Just kind of,
No, no,
how
a
does
lot,
lunch
a
work?
lot of the
I'm more
times we
about the
will.
food, Eric. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm a foodie myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is a good little downtime just to kind of like regroup,
Mm,
sit down, relax. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, on these vertical sets, there's a lot of moving pieces. Usually, no one is sitting around the entire time. So, like,
mm,
when that lunch break comes, everyone's kind of like, some people are kind of mingling around, but I'm someone that kind of likes to just get my space and just sit down, relax by myself a little bit,
mm.
just to dive into the second half of the day.
Yeah. And I also, again, I'm just nosing now. With your script, are you like a iPad guy? Are you digital or do you print it out? What do you prefer to work with?
Yeah, yeah. Funny question, actually. So I used to only be a printed out guy, but I do like the aspect of writing all over the script,
Mm.
highlighting and stuff like that. But at the end of it, sometimes like the pages were just like coming out of the staples. It was a hot mess. Some pages I just like would just lose. So recently, I guess I can say that I am a part of the script iPad gang. I've been overtaken by the iPad squad, so now I bring the iPad everywhere, and it is cool because you can still write all over it. It's obviously
Yeah.
convenient, so iPad gang.
It was fascinating. I was on a set the other week and the producer was sat there with the script on the iPad and was just basically colouring in every little bit of as soon as it'd been filmed. It was just
Yeah,
fascinating to watch, just how
yeah,
effective it was.
yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned you filmed in China and Lithuania, and obviously you've played different roles. So I guess looking ahead to 2026, what's on your wish list of either like where you'd like to go to film or roles you'd like to do? Kind of
I mean,
what would you
100% right
love?
off the bat. We at what comes to my head is diving back in the stage dive series. Bringing Jimmy's book to life. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the fans would
Mm,
agree for that. So hopefully,
yeah.
Passionflix does as well. The first one's been doing well on Amazon Prime. So, I mean, if we can obviously push for the next ones, but obviously these verticals, the beautiful thing is that one, they happen very last minute. You can get a message like a week beforehand to
Mm,
fly all across the world. So they do keep you on your toes.
yeah.
But yeah, I think going to new countries would be awesome. Doing a little bit more in Europe would be pretty cool.
Mm,
Um, but I mean, also just telling a variety of stories also excites me. I'm not someone who like just wants to play the hero or just wants to play the villain. I just want to play interesting human beings. And I think the more interesting, the more complex the character are the characters that sort of gravitate me towards them.
That sounds awesome. So I'm going to ask a final question, which I think works, which is obviously you've spoken about what characters have given you. What would you say were some of the biggest takeaways you've had just from your acting or kind of stuff that's really impacted you in your life? Maybe not necessarily a character, but just sort of what's it given you? What's the impact?
Yeah, I mean, the impact 100% goes from every single character that I've played holds a very special place in my heart. I do a lot of preparation and stuff beforehand, and I do feel like leaving them. It does feel a little sad at the end of it, even for like the very complex characters, just because they mean like so much to me. And I mean, I would love to sometimes meet some of them again, but just like the understanding that they give me. So when I do walk into my personal everyday life, there's a lot of takeaways that I take from them with how they viewed life, and
Mm,
I think it actually only makes me um, a more understanding person. I have a lot more empathy because every character
mm,
that I play, I do 100% like never judge them, anything that they go through. I just try to understand them.
mm,
I think going through everyday life as well, it's very easy to judge a book by its cover. Obviously, everyone's guilty of it, but I think the more that we can have compassion for others, understand others, obviously step into their shoes, just will make this world a better place. And a huge testament to my characters for teaching me that.
That is an amazing final answer. That's so good. I'm really conscious you've got a full day on set now because Eric's doing this early in the morning, Saturday in LA, and he's off to set. So I just want to say huge, huge thank you for making the time to do this and just answering my questions. And yeah, thank you for all the amazing varied roles you got and can't wait to see lots more.
Of course, thank you, Jen, for everything that you do. It's been a pleasure talking to you.